This is Dateline NBC tonight.
Look at these children closely and you can literally see their sadness turn to smiles before your eyes. They all have a painful past.
Sometimes I feel like it's my fault.
But now the healing has begun. Sarah James has a story you won't forget.
Brand new day. Look at this one, Grandpa.
People come from all over to see the gorgeous decorations, but mostly they come to read the names.
In memory of my dad.
To understand this winter festival, you must go back to last summer and a place called Camp New Hope. Sarah James takes us to a place where kids learn to cope with the worst pain of all.
Good morning. How are you guys?
They look like any other campers. A little anxious, a little eager, a little scared, and one thing more. Each of these children has suffered a devastating loss, a loss almost too painful to think about.
You know what your mom died from?
Mm-hmm.
What she died from?
Breast cancer.
Okay.
It's a brand new day. I'm gonna make my way.
It's a new kind of camp. It's called a bereavement camp. Hospices around the country are setting them up to help children shattered by the death of someone they loved.
Would anyone else like to share how they're feeling about the loved one that they lost?
On this first day, when counselors try to get the children to talk or draw pictures about the loved ones they've lost, very few can or will speak. Sarah, age 8, and Miranda, she's 7, are sisters. Their mom died last winter after a long battle with breast cancer.
Do you want to share your picture? You drew a beautiful picture. Don't want to?
Come on, Patrick. You gonna share?
This person is your family.
New Hope has designed a unique tool to help campers and counselors. It's called a feeling face.
In the course of the day, when you are feeling differently, you're feeling better, or you're feeling sadder, or you're feeling angry, you can change faces, okay?
There's a calculated rhythm to the camp. After every bereavement activity comes something that's physical and fun. But some campers just aren't ready to handle fun. 13-year-old Wally won't go swimming today. His mom died of bone cancer last summer. Having fun would hurt too much.
She felt a lot of pain. I remember every day when I come home from school, she'd be up in the bedroom crying from the pain.
Along with the children's grief, along with the hurt, comes anger. 11-year-old Michael lost his soldier father to brain cancer.
What makes me angry is that my dad planned lots of stuff with me before when he was sick because he was out of the Army and he could do a lot more things. But he started getting sicker and sicker and we never got to do much.
And that makes you mad.
Yeah.
And you may be wondering, why does Camp New Hope insist that children like Michael, like Wally, like Sarah and Miranda, confront their pain, their anger? Counselor Betsy Patterson says it's because of what can become of children who don't.
They're the angry people in the world who, you know, when things happen and you think, how can somebody do that? How can somebody scream at the world or hurt someone in the world? I think it's people that are hurting themselves who never knew how to deal with the anger that they had from their own losses.
Every Camp New Hope counselor has at least 15 hours training in grief therapy for children. They range from teenagers to grandparents, one for every 2 campers. The camp is free, supported by community and corporate donations to Delaware Hospice. And one of the first things a visitor notices, in an age when lawyers and prosecutors have made most of us afraid to even touch a child, Camp New Hope is strictly hands-on. Tuesday.
Let's start here. Death is difficult to understand. And it is, right? We all know that it's difficult to understand.
The assignment, a tough one. Fill out a booklet called My Thoughts About My Loved One. Circle how you felt when your loved one died. Happy. Why? Because she won't suffer anymore. The thoughts are intensely personal. We've kept them anonymous and asked other children to read aloud from them.
I felt sad and mad that my grandma died. I hope she's doing fine in heaven. I was sad Dad died because he was my best friend.
Confronting grief this way is hard on the kids. It's hard on everybody. Hardest of all sometimes on the woman who created Camp New Hope 4 years ago, Hospice Director Karen Robertson.
What's making you cry? We said to one little boy, do you have somebody at home that you can share this picture with? And he said, no, everybody's dead. And part of my work is recognizing I can't take away their pain. I can only help them feel the pain, move through that pain, and go on. And sometimes that's what makes me cry.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's nut day number 3. How are we? Good.
Wednesday begins with a cheerier-looking bunch of campers and a sudden breakthrough.
We're going to start with our Pledge of Allegiance. Who would like to lead it? I would.
That's TJ, Wally's little brother, who's hardly even volunteered a word in the first 2 days.
Of the United States of America.
You need a happy one today, Miranda?
And suddenly, there's a run on happy faces.
How's this, Miranda? Is that happy enough?
This morning's grief assignment, perhaps the roughest of all.
You're going to be writing a story about the loved one that you lost.
Once again, it's intensely emotional. Some of the children have to go off on their own to do it.
If I could talk to my mom again, I would say I wish you could come back again. I miss you very, very much. And come and see me again. And I'm sorry you had to go so early. I wish I could have said goodbye. I would like to say to my mom to stay down here with me. It's lonely without her, and I miss you, Mom. Hi, my name is Patrick. I am 9 years old. Ever since my grandma died, it was pretty sad without her.
Patrick, who on Monday couldn't even show his picture, decided today he could read his story to us.
Did you like writing about her?
Yeah.
But she said you were a good boy, didn't she?
Yeah.
I knew she'd say that.
No, cancer is not contagious. You cannot catch that.
So far, Camp New Hope has been mostly about questions. But now hospice nurse Kathy Osgood is here to provide some answers. And some of her answers will be crucial to helping these children get along with their lives.
Is there a cure for, like, bone cancer?
No, there isn't a cure for bone cancer. They can use chemotherapy and radiation sometimes and get real good results with those. But at this point, there is no cure.
Why was that so important for you to know?
Because I was wondering if there was a cure, you know, to prevent the death of my mother.
You were wondering if there was something the doctors could have done that
Yeah.
they didn't do. So that answered a big question for you.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, is it painful to die? And you know, I don't know. But I will tell you this, that we work very hard with our patients to make them as comfortable as we can. And most of the time, I would say that when I have a patient who dies, they have a very easy, peaceful passing.
No!
Closing day at Camp New Hope, Delaware. A far different scene than on opening day, Monday. The children seem loose, relaxed, ordinary.
We're glad all of you have entrusted your children to us in this past 4 days.
Today is Family Day. Surviving moms, dads, grandparents, brothers, sisters come to see what the New Hopers have to show them. The older kids wrote a play about dying. Michael plays the patient, Wally his brother.
My diagnosis is you have terminal chronic heart failure.
What happens next comes as a complete surprise and a shock for everyone in the audience. Suddenly, a grinning Michael acts out a horror from his past, the seizures that racked his young father, dying last Christmas of a brain tumor. The audience doesn't know exactly how to take this. Some laugh uncomfortably, some squirm. Afterward, Michael's mother is still shaken by what her son can now bring into the open.
Watching Michael gave me some kind of idea of how he saw things happening. It's really fresh yet, and I know all of us still have a lot of things to go through, and there are sometimes that it's easier and sometimes it's not.
Several campers who were having the roughest time back on Monday sat down to tell us what they'd learned. One of the most important lessons, they agreed, was about crying.
Because most kids, they think that crying is for wimps and that they shouldn't cry, but it's not.
You know what you feel, and it's okay if you want to cry. It doesn't make you less or more of a man or a woman, whatever.
What would you tell other kids, Michael, if they had lost a loved one?
I would tell them to talk to other people and tell people how you feel and stuff.
Why would you tell them to do that?
Because it helps. It helped me.
There is one more moment here at Camp New Hope. The counselors call it closure, a way for the children to close the past, not to forget it, they'll never forget it, but to close it and move into the future.
We plant this tree in loving memory of our family members who have died.
It's a new tree, fourth in a row of young trees here that mark every Camp New Hope. It's a place the campers can come back to in future years, perhaps with children of their own.
Today we remember Michael Alexich, Dad to Brian and Dad to Michael. We remember Shelley Hart, Mom to Miranda and Mommy to Sarah.
This is for my mom, and this is for my mom.
We remember Joanne Savage, Mom to Wally and TJ. We remember Vicki Mitchell-Tree, Grandmama to Patrick.
That's why I'm gonna plant my tree. New life in Him, new hope.
The 4 days at Camp New Hope are just a first step. The hospice and the counselors stay in touch with the children, including, as you've seen, the Christmas time get-together.